kind of started messing around with it. And me personally, I've just kind of generated some worksheets, and it has saved me a ton of time. And for me, I've kind of made lesson plans, I've made some handouts, I've made some worksheets. Super quick, I can just type in these parameters and get an answer, and then I can kind of take that, maybe space things out a little bit if it's mathy so they have room, and I can turn it into something like I needed a sub real quick on Monday, so this is something I did Friday after school. And it was super helpful, and it was super focused, and the better I am at typing directions, right, the better it is at giving it. And if I don't like what it gives me, right, I can kind of ask it again and give it some more parameters. So that's great, my experience. Talking to another teacher who works with students with exceptional children kind of issues. She says it helps modify their reading level. So AI can scan a reading passage, and then it can simplify the reading level. So if you got a 10th grade passage and you maybe got an 8th grade and a 4th grade level student, you can just kind of send it through and get a quick version that'll work for them. So that's just about anybody. They're great for creating outlines. This one teacher said, hey, when I was in grad school, I'd kind of put in these parameters of what I needed to study, what I needed to type a paper about, and she just had a hard time getting started. So she would type in the topic, what issues she needed to address, and AI would send her an outline, and then she would just follow that outline and make it her work. You know, in education, I don't know if you've ever heard of 504 plans or IEP plans. You have these independent plans for students. So you can just kind of type in strengths and weaknesses of a student. You can put in any student data you might have, and then AI will give you a plan for that student based on those things.
I definitely have used AI before, but never to do anything in terms of writing papers for me or getting answers. It's more so actually really cool. Even ChatGPT will if you give them a sample question, they can actually ask you questions based off that question and kind of go deeper. So I used that a little bit in my biochemistry class last year. And I haven't really used it much since, but I know I'm going to use it for the MCAT because it can use its databases as AI does, which is really cool in what it knows that MCAT might ask and the ways that it might form questions.
Let's say you share a YouTube video with a class. No matter what the topic or what it's about, you can ask AI to scan it, and it'll give you a list of vocab words. It'll give you group activities to do with this information. It'll give you related readings you can do. It'll give you comprehension questions. I started teaching at the school when I got hired this fall. They kind of had a new teacher training day, and they definitely, had us using AI. I definitely went into a 30-minute information center, and people were using a website. I think it was called Magic School, and that's what we were doing. Just kind of hey, math teachers, you can kind of put this in, look what you can get. If you tell the thing what you want, the more specific you are, the more exact it's going to be. So I probably had about 20, 30 minutes messing around, and then when you called, maybe 10 days ago, that reminded me, oh yeah, we got this AI, why don't I try this before I talk to you? And it was super helpful, yeah.
So I feel like schools are just gonna have to work around it because every student uses it. Maybe every is an over-exaggeration, but a lot of students use it, so it's just, you can't really stop it at this point. It's how you're gonna manage it and kind of utilize it and present it in a way that is useful and not totally disregard it to your students.